Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much guys for support. Thank you for being here. So in today's video I'm going to talk about the process of student visa application, or what entails, what are the processes, how is the process done from point A until you get your visa. So if you are a new if you're a new member in this channel, if you're new to this channel, kindly consider subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to watch this video, and remember to leave a comment, remember to give this video a thumbs up, and also share this video to your friends and family who may require the information that I'm going to share today. So the first process, and I'm going specifically to talk about the visa process, this process from a perspective of someone who is going to use an agent. So if you're going to do the process yourself, some of the processes, it will be the same, but the only process that you're not going to do is getting yourself an agent. Otherwise everything else is the same. All right, now let's talk about getting an agent. As I've shared earlier, when I came to Australia myself, I used an agent, and probably 99% of people who have come to Australia have used the migration or student agencies. This is because most schools, when you apply and you're an international student, they will straight away tell you to, if you do the application on their school, they'll straight away tell you to use an accredited migration or a student agent. I don't know the reason, but that's what happens. And it doesn't, and again, one thing I like using an agent is that they take off the burden from you. Most of the things that you will do, you would have done, the agent will do it for you. So for you, it's only a little bit of maybe providing the finances, and of course you need to know what they're doing as well. Don't just let them do everything without knowing what you're doing. It is good that you know what is done, but now they take all the burden because they do it themselves. The writing, the everything, they do it themselves. Now I'll talk about how to get an agent. There are so many agencies wherever you are. Most of the countries, they have student agencies. And if you go on the Home Affairs website on how to apply for the student visa, there's a clause there that tells you about the migration agent, and they'll even help you search for a migration agent in your country. You're only supposed to put either, if you know the migration agent, just to confirm if maybe they are legit or not, you can put your place, where you're coming from, whether, let's say for example you're from Kenya, you put Kenya or Nairobi, Eldoret, Nigeria, Uganda. You just put there, you filter, then they're going to give you the list of the accredited migration agents in your country. Now after you've gotten yourself an agency, it is important, before I continue, it is important that you know agents will charge you. Agents do not do this for free. They will not apply for the student visa for free. They are working. This is their job. Everyone is trying to get something for their family, is trying to get a source of income. So this is a source of income for the agents. So it is important that you pay them the fee. And most of them, they'll ask you for a deposit when they start the application. And before they lodge your visa, you're supposed to pay the balance, which makes total sense because, as I've said, this is their job. So sometimes I get people asking me, why are the agents charging? And I wonder, these people are working, and also yourself, if you're working somewhere, you expect to get paid. So these agencies will charge you. There's no standard amount for them to charge. depending with where you are, which country you are, there are different prices. For example, in Kenya, you'll get some agencies that charge 10,000. You'll get some agencies that charge 25,000. Others even charge as much as 50,000 Kenyan shillings. So all the agencies are not standard. The prices are not standard. Just get the one that suits you depending on your research. Ask people around whichever agents they used, because it is good to use an agent that is well known. That is my recommendation. Also, giving a new agency a chance is not a problem, but just do whatever suits you. That's what I'll say, because it is you doing the process. It is your process. You have to select the agency according to your preference. Now, after you've gotten the agency and you've discussed what you want to do, number one, they'll tell you to if you for example you did a diploma back in your country. Let's say for example you did a diploma in nursing and you want to come to Australia to study, they will advise you to come and continue with your nursing. Either you change to something closely related to the nursing course, or you stick to your nursing course. So they do not advise you to change your field of study. Reason being, the immigration are going to be strict, and they are very strict, and they are going to wonder, why are you changing your field of study? They want to ensure that you're a legit student and you're genuine. That is basically why they want you to stick to your field of study. Then the other thing, you need to know what kind of school do you want to go, which state in Australia do you want to go. Okay, sometimes if you don't know, you may not have done so much research, but most of the states in Australia are quite okay. But sometimes it is important, just my recommendation, I would say it is good to come to regional part of Australia, because when you go to these big cities, there's lots of jobs, that's fine. There's lots of competition as well. But in the regional areas, you may not get the job immediately. But when you get it, the competition is not too much. And then for your permanent residence, you're going to get 5 extra points for you to apply for your permanent resident. And the competition for the permanent resident in regional Australia is not as much as it would be in the big cities. But then, that is for you to decide. That is for you to choose. Do your own research. Know which states are good. Which one would you prefer? Maybe you have people who've come before to Australia, to different states. Ask them how the states are. Then you make your own decision. From that is when now the agency is going to do the application, the school application for you. They are going to give you a number of schools that maybe you would prefer. Then you're going to choose from them. They're going to do the application for you, the school application. And we talked about what you're going to provide, the requirements, the documents that you're supposed to submit. So I would ask you to go back and watch another video I did on the documents or the requirements for the student application, student visa application. But then I'm going to give it a rundown, just to mention just a few. Now, you will need to provide your identification documents like your ID, your driver's license, your passport. You need to provide also maybe birth certificate. If you've got, you might need to provide your certificate, your certificates if you have like high school certificate, your college, and your highest level of academic qualification that you have. Provide the transcripts, provide the certificate, provide a resume and a CV just to show what you've been doing. Again, you'll need to provide IELTS at some point, but this will come later anyway. So let's just continue with the process first. So after you provided these documents, the education agency are going to do the application for you. Then you're going to wait for a few weeks, and then you're going to receive an offer letter. So in the offer letter, it's going to take maybe 1 to 4 weeks for it to come back. And then with the offer letter, they're going to put there the conditions that you're supposed to meet before you continue the process. So this is where IELTS comes in. It might be a requirement or not. They might ask you to provide either IELTS, PTE, OET, TOEFL. one of them. So this is where the conditions come. Either you provide English proficiency, they may ask you for a bank statement before you continue. So they might ask you to provide a GT. This is genuine temporary entrant form. You're going to just have, they're going to give you some questions in this GT, and you're supposed to express yourself just to show that you're a genuine student. They'll ask you why you want to come study in Australia, what have you done before, previously, what achievements have you achieved, what sort of ambitions do you have, are you planning to go back to your country or not. And this is where you're supposed to mention that you are planning to go back to your country after your studies are finished. Because if you mention that you're planning to stay here, that is one of the reasons they will deny you a visa. But then this is the good thing with using the agent. The agent is going to go through your GTE. That is why they are very important, because if you do it yourself, you might mess. For them, they've done this for long. They know what is right, what is wrong. So they're going to direct you. After you've written down, they will direct you and tell you to maybe make changes on the paper you've done, so that it shows the genuineness, right? Now, the next thing, after you have met the conditions, that is when you're going to receive a confirmation to pay your school fees and also get an insurance health cover, a health insurance cover, an overseas one. So after you've paid your school fees, they are going to direct you, before you pay your school fees, you're going to get the bank details from the agent. The school is going to send the bank details to the agent, and then you're supposed to pay the school fees, go to the bank, depending with the rates, go find the banks that negotiate with the banks for the exchange rates. Some banks are quite expensive. Just shop around and get the best rates so that you don't pay so much. Otherwise, if you have someone who is abroad, they can do the payment for you, which will be in dollars, so they won't have to pay so much. But then if you don't have someone, then you'll have to shop around in your country for the banks for the rates, right? The other thing that then the insurance, you have to buy the insurance cover, because you cannot lodge a visa if you do not provide an evidence of insurance cover. The Australian government will not allow you to come to Australia without a health insurance cover, right? That's fine. And basically this is the reason. Imagine you come here, you get sick, and the government does not cover you for your medicals, because they only cover the permanent residents and the citizens, and you on a student visa, you're not eligible for the cover. You're not eligible for the Medicare from the government. And that's why you need to have your own health insurance, and you'll be able to go to the hospitals. They have limitations. We are going to talk about that in another video. The limitations, how far does the health insurance go to? How far can it cover? Now, the other thing that you need to note, after you've paid your school fees, you've bought your health insurance, you're going to get something called COE. This stands for confirmation of enrollment. This is going to come from the school. So after you've gotten your COE, that is when now you go ahead and do a student visa application. And the agent will do this for you, right? You don't need to worry. You only need to provide evidence, documents. Now they'll ask for further documents. The agent will ask you, they'll give you some forms to fill. This is where you need to be very, very, very careful. If you have family, if you have a husband, wife, children, they're going to give you a form. I think it's form 80. That form, you're going to fill all your family members, your siblings, your parents, and your wife, and your husband, and your children. Then you're going to also fill your addresses, where you've lived for the last 10 years. You provide all the addresses. Actually, you provide address for where you've lived for the rest of your life, right? Then you'll provide evidences of, you'll provide information on where you are born, your phone numbers, your next of kin, all that. And it's a very long form, so you're going to fill that. Some of the agents will do that for you. They'll only ask you for the information, or you go to their office, then you'll fill together. That one is easy. It is self-explanatory. It's only you providing the documentation. And make sure you provide the correct dates as they appear on the IDs or the birth certificates, because at some point, if you want to bring in your family and you put the wrong dates, it might cause you some problems with visa refusals, because they'll be like, this is not your family. The dates that you provided and the dates on their documents are not the same. They're not rhyming. So be very careful when you're providing the dates, and also all the details. Be very careful. Just counter check, provide the accurate documents and the accurate information. Now, remember, when you're providing your documentation for the visa application, you'll have to get them certified by a JP, that is the Justice of Peace in your country, or an advocate of the, I think the advocate of the high law, or lawyers. Those ones are the ones that do certify. Like for example, in my country, Kenya, we had to go to an advocate of the High Court or the Supreme Court, I can't remember. So they just certify the documents. You have to provide the document in a photocopy, a copy of the document and the original. So they just look at the original and the copy, and then they sign that is the origin, you provided the right document. They just sign and put the signature there. That's basically what they need. Then you'll send them to your agent, and then the agent will upload them while doing the visa application, right? Now from here, when the agent has done the visa lodgement, you'll wait for few, probably even the same day or few days later, the Home Affairs, the Department of Home Affairs, is going to send back a confirmation for you to go ahead and do your medicals and biometrics. Your medicals there are certain centers in every country that they have centers where you can do the medicals. You cannot do medicals or your health check in any place. There's designated places where the Australian government have accredited, or the Australian government have chosen for everyone to do their medicals. So the medicals, they're going to basically check that you're healthy, you don't have things like, they might check for, they do chest x-rays to check for TB. They'll also do, depending on the courses you're coming to do, they might do urinalysis, pregnancy test, HIV test, hepatitis A, B, C. They might do different tests. So you just go and then they do the test, and then they're going to send the results to the immigration. The only time they will contact you is if you have anything that came out positive. For example, if your TB, your chest x-ray showed that you have TB, so they're going to contact you and tell you that you are positive for this and this and that, and you will not be able to proceed with your application at the moment until you're cleared. So then that would mean that your visa application process might end there. Again, if you're contacted, that means something was wrong. So if you're not contacted, that's fine. Don't expect to be contacted, because they'll only send the results directly to the immigration. You're not going to get in touch with the results anywhere. And then the other thing that they are going to request from you is biometrics. This basically means they're going to get or to check your character check or your criminal history. So you're going to some of the designated areas again in your country. They are going to send you, or your agent will advise you where, or you can even check on the Home Affairs website. But then if you're using the agent, you don't need to worry, because they're going to direct you. So you're going to those centers and they'll take your fingerprints. They're going to run it on the database, the worldwide database, just to check if you've ever committed any crime. And so if they find that you have any criminal history, that would mean that your visa might not be granted, and they might refuse, or on that basis they will not grant you the visa. So ideally, these are the processes involved, and it is quite easy. It is quite okay. It is tedious because of the back and forth of maybe doing some application, doing the writing. You have to do a bit of writing. You have to do an SOP during the student visa application. At that point, they are going to ask you for a statement of purpose. This is basically about you talking about what are your ambitions, why are you coming to Australia, why did you choose Australia instead of any other country, why did you choose that particular university instead of another university, maybe outside Australia or even in Australia. And that is basically explaining why you're coming here. I have done another video on the same, so I'm going to link that video down below in the description box to show you how to write the SOP, what you're supposed to put in your SOP. It is supposed to be clear. Do not use jargons. Do not use very weird words. Just use simple language that these people can understand. Otherwise, I'm going to leave this video at that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video is going to be helpful to you. Remember to leave a comment down below. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. Remember kindly to share with your friends and family. If you're planning to come to Australia, let me know in the comment section. And if there's any other further information you'd like from me, I'm happy to share it with you. If I'm in a position, that is, if it's something that I can share, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. And let me know any other topics that you'd like me to cover in the comment section. Until the next time, bye.